Welcome to my 1200th video altogether since establishing the PMDB video series that not many people have watched over the last 8 years. In this particular video, I'll be giving my thoughts and rating for Halloween 2018. He has more videos than subscribers. He's one of the few on here without a PayPal. This isn't work. He's simply here to entertain. 11 years in a row. It's the Paul Michael DB show. 9 days to go. In this video, I'm going to name top 3 Summerslam matches from every show of the Golden Age, the Golden Era of wrestling. So I'm going to name top 3 Summerslam matches from the following shows: SummerSlam 88, SummerSlam 89, SummerSlam 90, and SummerSlam 91. So let's get cracking, shall we? The top 3 SummerSlam matches from the 1988 show, in my opinion, are: in third place, the opening match, the time limit draw, the fabulous Rougeau brothers versus Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid, the British Bulldogs. This was a solid opening match. Just a shame about the ending. It shouldn't have ended in a draw. That was kind of bullshit. In second place, I'm going to go with the match that was on at the opposite end of the show. The Mega Powers Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, ooh yeah, Randy Savage against the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant. This was a damn good, solid main event. But the match, the moment that steals this SummerSlam for me. Short, I don't care. Still, doesn't matter about shortness. Because at Survivor Series 2016, the match that stole this show, the most memorable match of that Survivor Series, was Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Don't know why I forgot his name there. He's one of my all-time favorites. Anyways, enough for Survivor Series 2016. The match that steals the show of SummerSlam 1988 is the moment when the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man, has a surprise opponent in the Ultimate Warrior. And the Ultimate Warrior beats him within seconds. One of the greatest SummerSlam moments of all time. The crowd went nuts. That's what wrestling's all about. Moving on to SummerSlam 89, top 3 matches. In third place is the Brainbusters versus the Hart Foundation, which was the opening match of the night. I'm not sure why the tag team titles weren't on the line in this match. It seemed stupid. Great match. Tully Blanchard, very underrated, overlooked performer. He was part of the Brainbuster team. In second place, I'm going with the Intercontinental Championship match between the Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude. They had 2 matches at SummerSlam. Their second match at SummerSlam in the Steel Cage in the 1990 show does not appear in my top 3 in the SummerSlam 1990 rankings, top 3 matches rather. But this match, this was another great moment for the Ultimate Warrior. He had great chemistry with Ravishing Rick Rude, and this was out of their WrestleMania 5 match and their SummerSlam 90 cage match. This was their best pay-per-view match. My number 1 pick is the main event, which featured Hulk Hogan teaming up with Bruce the Barber Beefcake, whom has no business in a main event, to be honest. But this match, they took on Zeus and the Macho King, Randy Savage. This match, this angle was red hot at the time, and it was the most intriguing match on the show. And it pains me to say it because I really don't believe Bruce Beefcake belongs in the main event. But looking back at this specific time, whom else would have teamed with Hulk Hogan? So I guess in a way he was the perfect fit for this match, and it was the most intriguing match of SummerSlam 89. It made SummerSlam 89. The top three SummerSlam matches of the 1990 event. In third place, now this was one of the most memorable matches. I remember the kids at the time talking about this match and the surprise outcome of the Texas Tornado becoming the Intercontinental Champion, defeating Mr. Perfect. So it gets my third spot in my top three. I was almost going with the steel cage match between Ravishing Rick Rude and the Olympic Warrior, but that match just didn't really do it for me this time around. So in third place is Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, defeating Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title. In second place, I'm going to go with Demolition, which consisted of Axe, Smash, and Crush, taking on the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. This was their second match at SummerSlam pay-per-view. The first one was at the 88 event, but it only consisted of Axe and Smash and that Pacific Demolition side. Demolition, my favorite tag team of all time. The Hart Foundation, one of the best tag teams of all time. They had great chemistry in the ring. A very memorable and solid wrestling showcase here. But the number one match of SummerSlam 90, in my opinion, was Hulk Hogan versus Earthquake. This was the real main event of SummerSlam 90. This was the one that made SummerSlam 90, in my opinion. And Earthquake is a very underrated performer. The only kind of problem I have with this match is the ending. Hulk Hogan wins by disqualification or countout. It's not a clean ending. But the match up until that point, very solid. And the celebration of Hulk Hogan winning his match was quite something. Just to see the crowd reacting to and dancing to Real American. Hulk Hogan, you forget how over this man was. Finally, on to SummerSlam 91. The top three matches, in my opinion, were in third place, the Big Boss Man versus the Mountie. I'm the Mountie. Right, I'll stop singing now. The loser of this match ended up in a New York cell, which was rather amusing. Little stipulation to this match. Big Boss Man, another very underrated performer. In second place, I'm going to go with the Tag Team Championship match between the Nasty Boys and the Legion of Doom. LOD, Hawk and Animal, very over at this specific time. People call them the greatest tag team of all time. It's hard to argue. I personally prefer Demolition, but Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, one of the all-time greats for sure. And they were the most over tag team ever. Ever. And that's coming from a Demolition mark. I don't even need to look at the matches to rate the best match on the show. Mr. Perfect versus Bret the Hitman Hart. And if I'm being honest, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Mr. Perfect was the greatest SummerSlam match of the Golden Age of wrestling. Yes, Bret the Hitman Hart, best known for being one of the leaders of the next generation, had the best match of the Golden Age SummerSlam pay-per-views. On a side note, because he doesn't feature in any of my top three matches, my all-time favorite from the Golden Age, Jake the Snake Roberts, he went against Hercules at SummerSlam 88, was absent from SummerSlam 89. He had an injury at the time. He was referenced by the $1 Million Man during that show. He then went up against Bad News Brown at SummerSlam 90 and was absent from the pay-per-view portion of SummerSlam 91, but interfered in the Coliseum video extra during Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth's wedding, which was the real main event of SummerSlam 91. Jake the Snake Roberts doesn't appear in any of my top three matches. And there's no agenda here. But what I will give him is he arguably had the best promo during this SummerSlam era here. His promo at SummerSlam 1990 is worth watching. He keeps professional during Damien the Snake trying to kill him, basically, during this promo. Go watch it. It's one of the best promos ever. And one of the unintentionally funny ones, too, because Jake the Snake Roberts, one of the all-time greats at giving promos, one of the best characters in wrestling ever. It's just amusing watching him keep professional while the snake is trying to wrap itself around him, and it's quite the image. It's quite the image. So go and check it out. There you have it, my top 3 matches from all the Golden Age SummerSlam pay-per-views, in my opinion, and the best one out of them all, Mr. Perfect versus Bret the Hitman Hart.